The IT guys just uploaded our lessons. So those who needed to take a look at it for your review, and please go to the APTS classes channel, YouTube channel. Then you'll be able to take a look at all the previous lessons. Okay. Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see the screen? All right. Please practice Hebrew reading. Um, Chompy, would you like to read?
Yes. Vayaku et Gedalehu Ben Achakam Ben Shapan and Bacharet by Bayamet Oath to
Okay. One more person. Romero.
Vayakan Kedalaya in Ahikam bin Shapan Batare Ya Vaya Het Ot 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 Ot
All right. Otto.
Ot
All right. Thank you. Let's do this. Let's see. Right. Today we are going to talk about two things in terms of new lessons, but they are not really brand new. So somehow it's true that after arriving at the tip top of the mountain, the first mountain, we are slowly going down, okay, downhill. So congratulations, we overcome, we overcame the first mountain. So it's good news. So see, if this is the one of the hardest things that we need to overcome, then you feel like, oh, then we can do it, right? So don't give up. You can do it. Come on. All right. Can anybody recognize the verbs here? Yeah, any verb.
Payaku and Paya Het, Payamet.
Okay. Saying this one and this one.
Yeah.
Sharon. Very
Yes.
good. Yeah. We have two verbs, and Sharon, you're right. And why do you think they are verbs?
because of the verb conversive.
Yes, that's great. Verb conversive works. Generally speaking, you can be rely on the presence of verb conversive to find a verb. Yeah, that's great. Then let me continue to ask you this question, Sharon. You're doing good job. How are you going to recognize this one? What root letters? Any root letters that you know?
Um,
Okay, you know that these are non-root letters,
yeah.
and this one must be the specific ending together with the prefix pronoun. So the yo together with u ending indicates a specific PGN. What is it? What PGN do you have? Yo then u.
To uh,
No, the yod in the beginning.
prefix
Yes. What PGN?
PGM, 요드 3MSG and um, ah,
To the right side.
then
That should be plural. 3MPL, right? So
yeah, una
your
una yeah.
ending is 3MPL. So right. So we have verb conversive, the prefix pronoun yod, and then u ending. So after taking non-root letters out of the given form, we have only kaf, one word. So now this is time for us to apply missing letter rule. So the first root letter should be what?
눈
Yes. Why? Because of dagesh porte.
시포르테 yeah.
So then must be nun, kaf, and something. And can you imagine what kind of root can be missing when it is attached to a special augment like u?
Maybe third head.
Great.
Yeah.
You are good. Yes. So he is dropped off. So the root letter is na, ka. I think you have memorized this one. All right. What is the meaning of naka?
Strike.
Yeah. And I think it normally, the word is normally used in the Hebrew stem. I think when you memorize the vocabulary, I think you memorize together with the specific stem. Am I right? Did you memorize as a kai? Is it kai, kanae? Or he feel?
Yeah.
Stephen? Okay, it's okay. I don't even remember. But most of the time, this word is used in the Hebrew stem, meaning striking. Okay? Striking, attacking, something like that. So let's just analyze this one then. And naka, what about stem?
Hipil.
He feel.
Yeah. Because of the
What?
pata under the yod.
Okay. But another question is, in order for you to have the third hair missing, and what kind of missing letter row do you have? Any vowel point can come other than kametz and tzere. So in Hebrew 1, I told you, even though any vowel point other than tzere and kametz can come, hirek and pata, those two specific vowel points are normally appearing for the third he. So the question is then how can you see this one and recognize this one as the Hebrew stem? Because even we can say the pata under the first yod indicates the possibility of the third he verb. You're right. Pata under the prefix pronoun without losing any root letter means what is it? The Hebrew stem. In this case, it's not really double weak verb, but it's kind of a double weak verb. So in this case, you need to think about two possibilities. But your vocabulary is important. As I said, naka in the Hebrew stem. I mean, that word is normally used in the Hebrew stem, like dabar in the Pia stem. Okay. So in this case, this one is the Hebrew. And then what about form? Okay, I
Prefix.
cannot hear you, but I read your mouse. So prefix, and then go ahead.
3M PL.
3M, PL, special
Verb
feature,
conversive.
verb conversive,
Yeah.
meaning,
And they strike.
yes, must be future, I mean, past tense, so strike, struck,
Ah,
struck. So
yes.
must be, yeah, struck. Okay, striking what? So we need DDO. So this one, Kedal, Kedal Yahoo. Kedal Yahoo. What is this? This is the proper name. Okay. Kedal Yahoo is, what is the meaning of Ben? Chompy? Ben, what is the meaning of pen? Ben?
Sun.
Son. And what kind of son? Son of Ahikam. Another name. Okay. So Kedal Yahoo is the son of Akikam. And who is Akikam? Another son of Shaphan. Shaphan. Okay, so that is, okay, so Akikam is the son of Shaphan. And then Akikam is the father of, uh, what is it? No, Gedaliah, is the son of Akikam. Okay, so Shaphan is the grandfather of Gedaliah. Is that clear? Let's move on. And Chompi, what is this? Can you recognize anything here?
Cherub.
What is it? Carrot? Carrot?
Cherub.
Yes, so you try to divide this one into two. Okay, yeah, right. You're right. Carrot. And then the first one is what? What is this?
The in.
Yes, preposition b.
People.
Okay, but why do you have patah instead of shua? Why?
Because target protest. No.
Why do you have a patah here? You are doing good job. That is, the first be is preposition be, and then patah. So actually, even though you cannot see this one is definite article he. So when the definite article he is sandwiched by b and then cat, actually this cat is guttural, so it cannot take dagesh forte. So like this, it's disappearing, and then he is not strong enough, so it disappears, and then we have pata. So the definite article he is there. Okay, so we have three components: the preposition b, definite article he, and then kerep. So what is the kerep? Do you remember?
What? No.
No. Anyone? Kerep?
Sword.
Sword. Yeah, sword. Okay. So by or in the sword. Okay. By the sword. Right. What is the main verb actually? And they struck. Gedal Yahoo by sword. Are you following me? By the sword. And let me ask you this question, Phineas.
Yes, sir.
It's good that Sharon recognized this word. And what is your analysis of this?
Uh,
Okay, root letters.
uh, Mot. Mut.
Right. It's not moot. It's mot.
Mot.
It's moot. Not mot. It's moot. Okay. Would you go ahead? What about stem?
Let's see. Yeah. Ah. Is he feel?
Why do
He
you think
feel
this is Ephel?
because of comets under the prefix, sir.
Let me ask you this question. We have a hollow verb. So after
Yes.
removing non-root letters, we have only two. So what do you
Yeah.
need to do? You need to apply missing letter rule. So looking
Yes.
at comets under the prefix pronoun, then that indicates hollow
Hello
verb.
verb.
So can't you say this is car stem then?
Uh, let's see. Let's see.
Although I mentioned this, I think 2 days ago or a couple of days ago, yesterday, even yesterday, um, the specific vowel point for, I mean, under the prefix pronoun for the Hebrew stem is what?
That is hey under the hey here,
No, the
sir.
prefix form. Prefix form.
A prefix that is prefix comments.
Hifil. Prefix hifil.
Prefix patta.
Yes, pata under the prefix pronoun.
Yes.
But when it comes to hollow verb, then even we will have comments under the prefix pronouns. So now this is quite important. The question is, how are you going to see the difference between 칼 prefix and hipil prefix, while they are all required and expected to take comments under the prefix pronoun? Are you following me? As I asked, these comments can be the sign of two things, actually, two possibilities. If you didn't study about hifil halovom, then you will say this one must be just simply what is missing letter rule applied for the car stem. So you may say this one is car, and then missing letter rule. Are you following me?
Yes.
But today I'm going to tell you that this comment is indicating the hifil prefix form as well. Then the technical question, which is quite important, is how are we going to see the difference between car and hifil in terms of the hollow verb? If you understand this, then we are done. Okay. Then, in order for us to understand this, let's go to our verb chart. Page 440, and you can even go to 441 as well. Let me see. First of all, in this case, the first vowel point under the prefix pronoun is kamet. Then the first clue doesn't work between the ka stem and the hifil stem, or especially talking about hollow verb. Then we need to go for the secondary clue. Okay. What kind of secondary clue can he have? Can anybody recognize it from your verb chart?
The vowel pointing on the first letter. For cow, it is comments. For heifer, it is sego.
Okay. You mean under the first root letter?
Yes.
Okay. So are you trying to say that the segol indicates what then?
Heifer.
Hifil.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I want you to look at page 440 for the second word. All right, look at this. We have three categories actually, card A, card A, card A, but we have kum category and bo category and sim category. So the first one has u, correct? The second one has o, okay? And then the third one has im. Are you following me? So they are all different. So depending on what kind of verbs you have, hollow verbs you have, it will follow different pattern. So as you can see that if you look at prefix form, then they will appear with all the second root letters, kum, bo, sim. Okay? But the problem is if this one comes together with verb conversive, go to the bottom, then the second root letter will be missing and then you will see a change. So in case of kum, it will become via kam. In case of bo, it will become via bo. In case of sim, it will become via sem. So Amos, I'm trying to say, okay, sego under the first root letter even can be the sign of the car stem. Okay, as you can see, sego here. Okay, let's go to then hollow verb hifil. As you can see, hifil is supposed to be coming together with hirek yod. No matter what kind of hollow verb you have, if you have the hollow verb used in the specific hifil stem, then the second root letter will be replaced by hirek yod, except na ending. So we have only two exceptions, but most of the time it will work. So in the hifil stem, the second root letter should be replaced by hirek yod, where in the hifil stem. So this is the difference between hifil stem and the kar stem in terms of the hollow verb, especially in the prefix form. Okay, that's the difference between them. But the question is, this hirek yod will be shortened when it is attached to verb conversive. Do you remember this? So go down and you have verb conversive. And then as mentioned by Amos, again, Amos was right too. Bayakim, Yakim became Kem. So hirek yod became Sego. So now what can you see here? Sego should be always the indicator of the hifil prefix form, hollow verb. It can be a sign, but not all the time. So the point is you may see the shortening. That's the point. Hirek yod becomes shortened. Hirek yod becomes shortened when it is attached to a verb conversive. Then what do we expect in terms of shortening? I told you 1 dot or 2 dot or 3 dot between, I mean, you may say under the first root letter. Are you following me? So most of the time, if you see 1 or 2 or 3 dots, hirek, zere, or sego under the first root letters, and it's most likely it's going to be hifil. But you cannot ignore this possibility. So now, how are you going to see? If you have sego, then think and try to see if the hollow verb falls under the category of im category, like sim, like bin. Are you following me? If the verb, hollow verb is categorized under im hollow verb, then it can definitely take sego. But let's go back to today's lesson. As we said, this one is not meat. I'm trying to say that the second root letter is not hirek yod. It is shurek, right? It's the first hollow verb category. Then in that case, in order for this one to be kal, and then the expected vowel pointing is not segol. What do you expect? Go back to the verb chart again. Then mut, like in the kam, it should be kum, right? So in hello verb kal, then you need to expect baya kam. So then the word will take comets under the first root letter. Are you following me? Okay, so that's how you can see the difference between kal hello verb and hifil hello verb in the verb conversely. Is that clear? Is it clear? One more time. This one is mut. We have mut, and then the second root letter is shurek. So you need to see this first verb in the hello verb chart. Why? Because this one is kum. So the second root letter is shurek, and this one is bo. The second root letter is holem plene, and then this one is a sim. So the second root letter is hirek yod. So when you have a hello verb, then the hello verb falls under one of those. Do you understand? Do you understand me? So depending on what kind of hello verb you have, you need to just follow. So in case of mut, then the second letter is a shurek. Then where is the shurek? Shurek is here, the first one, kum. So you need to compare. So mut should be
First, just on the right column, it's mut.
oh
Yeah.
let me see. Wait a minute. I think mut is an exceptional case too. So I think mut will be treated exceptionally today, but I'm talking about the general rule. But give me a second. The question is then why is not following the specific form? This one is mut. Okay, then let's look at the form. Mut here. The reason why mut is categorized under kal I is because of the stere sound, but it is mut. So it is categorized under kal I. So in order for the mut could be verb conversive, then should be bayamat. The question is why? And it should be sego. What is the meaning of mut?
Die.
Sorry?
Die.
Die.
Yeah.
And then in the Hebrew stem, then what should it be?
Kill.
Kill, causing somebody to die. So it should be kill. So this one must be Hebrew stem. But the question is why sego? Let me see. Sorry, kind of confusion is here. So must be Hebrew.
히필 할로우 벌브. 세골.
No, you cannot say that.
아,
Because the function is like this. When we have u ending, then when we have this one in the Hebrew stem, then shortening 히읗 should be shortened. That's why we could come up with segol. Like, let me go back to this. I think I know how to answer the question, but let me show you the verb chart again. Okay, one more time, let's look at this. In the Hebrew stem, hello verb, and then this one is kum. Are you following me? This one is kum. And then shurek, when this shurek hello verb is attached to verb conversive, then 히읗 is shortened to sego. So sego is a good indicator of shurek, a hello verb, which is appearing in the form of the given verb today. So my answer is that in case of mut, then we may have two paradigms. I think that is what we can see here. So what I'm trying to say is mut can follow I category. So in this case, we may have this form. Even mut can appear as via mat. And at the same time, being a shure category, it can even come under this via kem in the Hebrew stem. That's what we can say. And let me see. Yeah, I think this is what we need to then understand. I think I need to double check with other textbooks and other stuff. So, but if I need to let you know that the conclusion of our discussion here is this: mood can be following its own pattern, becoming Chere category as a car I group, but it is still Shurek group, right? It's Mut Shurek and Kum Shurek. That's why it is also following U pattern. So the idea is Hirek Jod is shortened to either Hirek or Chere or Sego. Okay, but as you can see that if this one is Kal, then in case of Mut, it cannot be Segol anyway because it should carry Sere according to our verb chart. That's for sure. So what I'm trying to say is Ba Ya Met Segol Met cannot be Kal stem. That is the most obvious thing today. Okay, let's just try to say this biomet cannot be car. Why? Because if this one is following the car stem as I group, then the segol should be zere. Are you following me? Or if you see hirek or zere or even segol under the first little letter of the hollow verbs, then you better think about the possibility of Hebrew stem. If you are dealing with a hollow verb of which second root letter is hiregyot, then you are going to be careful because the segol can be appearing for even sim hiregyot category in the car stem. Okay, let's try to summarize our lesson here. Don't be confused. I'm sorry about the confusion here. Okay, anyway, biomet cannot be cast stem because if this one belongs to and following the general a pattern of mut, then it should be segol. I mean tsere. Am I right? In the cast stem. Okay, but it takes segol. So then you can see that, oh, there is variation. So hirek yod is shortened to 1 dot or 2 dot or 3 dot. Is that clear? So in this case, it is following the other pattern. Or even this the possibility of the we have the possibility. The zere, the expected vowel pointing is zere, then zere can be even shortened to sego. So the shortening is the key point to understand the Hifil hollow vowel under the prefix pronoun. I mean, under the first root letter. Okay, so then let me say, if you are dealing with a hollow verb that is used in the prefix form of verb conversive, then what do you expect under the first root letter? Shortening. Is that clear? Okay, so that is what we are dealing with. So then the translation is, and they struck Gedaliahu, the son of Achikam, the son of Shaphan, with or by the sword, and he killed him. Let's go to the individual slide, and we will summarize what we have learned. Okay. Okay, let's look at this. Naka, Hifil prefix 3 MPL, verb conversive, and they struck or smite, and the passive form is a smote. Do we have any question regarding this? Okay, then let's move on. Okay, so dealing with first noon verb is nagash. And then in the Hifil stem, what do we expect? Pata under the first prefix pronoun. So still, pata under the prefix pronoun works for the Hifil stem. And then we have assimilation, dagesh, because the first noon is assimilated. And praise the Lord, we have hirek yod between the second and third letters. So in fact, first noon verb is generally following other strong verb pattern for Hifil stem, except the assimilation. So it's really nothing new, except the assimilation. Is that clear? So as you can see, 3FPL and 2FPL is not taking hirek yod because of not ending. This is what is taking place even for other types of verbs in the Hebrew stem. So the first indicator, which is pata under the prefix pronoun, and together with the secondary clue, which is hirek yod between the second and the third, still work. Okay, so that's it. But the thing is, when this prefix form is coming together with a verb conversive, then what do you expect? Shortening. So hirek yod will be shortened to either hirek or chere or segol. Is that clear? In the Hifil stem. Let me move on. So the names are here. Gedaliah, and then the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan. It said by a sword, but it should be by the sword. My apology, because of pata. Okay, then let's look at Hifil prefix hollow verb here. As we talk about the indicator of Hifil prefix form, this kamet under the prefix pronoun must be the indicator of Hifil hollow verb. Okay, without verb conversive, this is quite strange. Okay, if you look at the hollow verb chart again, then let's go back to the hollow verb chart. In fact, kamets under the prefix pronoun can be appearing for the kai stem, hollow verb kai stem. So you cannot say that these kamets under the prefix pronoun for the hollow verb should be the Hifil stem all the time, because kamets can even come for the ka stem, since this is a hollow verb. So if you have comments under the prefix pronoun with a verb conversive, then think about two possibilities first. What are they? Okay, this one can be even ka and then even Hebrew stem. Then you need to move on to the secondary clue. In order for this one to be the Hebrew stem, then the second root letter should be replaced by hirek yod. So that's why we have hirek yod. But if this one is ka stem, then you are going to have shurek here as the same as the lexicon form. That is the difference between kal and the Hebrew in terms of prefix form without verb conversive. Are you following me? So this one must be Hebrew because of hirek yod. But if you don't have hirek yod, then you will definitely have shurek here. Okay, so it should be yashub. But even the yashub can be shortened when it is attached to verb conversive. Okay, then in that case, it will not be shortened to hirek or tsere or sego, but it will come on together with kamets by a kam. So let's look at it again one more time. Hello, verb, prefix form. As you can see that they come together with the prefix form and comments. So you cannot say comments under the prefix pronoun should be the indicator of Hebrew stem. It doesn't work that way. Okay? But two possibilities. But as I said, kum is kum, bo is bo, sim is sim, mut is mut, together with the prefix pronoun. So if you have the given form, the lexical form of the hello verb together with the prefix pronoun and comment, then that must be kal stem. If you have the Hebrew stem, then the prefix form will be coming together with comments under the prefix pronoun. But the most important thing is the second root letter will be replaced by hirek yod, except na ending. Is that clear? But the question is, okay, with the verb conversive, it is quite obvious. But when they are attached to a verb conversive, then that's where the confusion is taking place. Then my answer is the Hebrew form of hirek yod will be shortened to hirek or tsere or segor. When this prefix form of kal will be appearing together with like kametz or hollen or segor. But this segor is standing for sim, like hirek yod category. So if you have segor, then you need to think, okay, to see if this hello verb is hirek yod category, then you gotta be careful. Okay. So that's how it works.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah. So your the hello verb chart 100 아니 440 car A the prefix form is yashim. Yeah, here.
Okay. Yeah.
야심.
Mhm.
예, 낮제래. hirek yod. Like say there is the same hipil prefix hello verb 야심.
Okay. So looking at this yashim, then can you
Yeah.
say this one is hello verb, Hebrew stem because of hirek yod? Is this what you are trying to say?
Yes. So you explain if prefix there is hipil prefix hello verb. If this is kal prefix 야심, 째래, not hirek yod.
No. What I'm trying to say is it will appear as the same as the lexicon form. So in case of sim, it's a sim because the word original form is a sim. So the sim as the original form, lexical form, that is appearing. So that is a strange. As you can see, kum is kum, bo is bo, and sim is sim.
Yeah.
But
So,
I'm glad that you asked me the question. Then how are you going to see the difference between okay,
yeah.
dealing with 야심? Then is it kal or hifil?
Yeah.
That is a good question to ask with a verb conversive. Then it certainly depends on the context. It should be the same. Because as I said, the second root letter should be replaced by hirek yod in the hifil step. But being a sim is a sim. So it can be even kal sim, and at the same time could be even hifil sim. So I think that's a really good question to ask. You could be confused here. So it depends on what kind of category, hello verb you have. But the reason why I told you, if you have, where is it? Yeah, but anyway, so that is how we can recognize those differences. So it's a bit confusing, but do not don't be too much confused. Just let's summarize one more time. Okay, what have we learned today? Let's go back to the slide again. So this one is not supposed to be hirekyo because this one is shub. If this one is the custom, then the second vowel point is not hirekyo. It must be shurek, right? Shurek, yeah, shub. So we can see that, oh, shurek is replaced by hirek yod. When why? Because that is the hifil stem. That's how we can recognize the presence of the hifil form, hifil stem, especially in the prefix form. But the tricky part, with a verb conversive, it's a bit easier to recognize. But when this prefix form is attached to a verb converse in the beginning, then this second root, hirek yod, is shortened to hirek, sere, or sego. That's what we need to remember. Okay, so just try to remember, no matter what kind of hello verb you may have, it could be u or o or im. The second root letter will be replaced by hirek yod in the Hebrew stem. Okay, and
Sir,
then
it is mean that,
yeah, go
hello,
ahead,
sir.
Ruben.
Yeah. If we put it, just what Sharon asked about the shim, in our translation or in our assignment, if we put it as prefix kal or hipil, uh, it is meant that we are correct or we are wrong, sir.
If you have yashim,
Yes, sir.
that's sheep.
Yes, sir, the yashim.
Are you talking about the word sim or shub?
The shim, sir, the shim.
Shim. Okay, in case of yashim, then you need to put two possibilities actually in your analysis without verb conversive. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So diagnostic of hifil prefix hello verb. Every form has a comments under the prefix consonant instead of pata. But that is one indicator. So seeing comments under the prefix pronoun, you cannot say this one must be, what is it? The hifil stem, because even in the car stem, it'll take comments. Okay. And then in every PGN except 3FPL and 2FPL, hirek plane appears between the first and the third letter. We can say under the first letter. The middle two letters is dropped. So in 3FPL, 2FPL, hirek plane becomes sere. So this is a indicators. I mean, they are the indicators of hifil prefix hello verb. Okay, let me move on. So we have mut. So mut hifil prefix 3 MSG verb conversive. So having segol here, then we can see that oh, shurek becomes hirek jod in the hifil stem. Are you following me? This one is mut. So mut shurek, the second root letter becomes hirek yod in the hifil stem. Are you following me? One more time. If this one is cast stem, then without verb conversive, this one should be appearing together with shurek. Is that, are you following me? But in the hifil stem, the second root letter shurek will be replaced by hirek yod in the hifil stem. Are you following me? So hirek yod must be here. But why is it segol? Because this one is attached to verb conversive, and then shortening is taking place. So that's why hirek yod becomes either 1 dot or 2 dot, 3 dot. So this one is the hifil prefix form. Halobab. Are you following me? Okay. So that's the meaning is, and he killed, and quotes to die. So the final translation, and they struck Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, with the sword, and he killed him. And they smote Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, with the sword, and slew him. I think just a matter of translation. Okay, let's it's kind of extra grammar. Kal affix hollow verb. Let's look at this. So it's a met, it's appearing in the kal affix form. Okay, let's look at this. In the affix form, it appears as met, meta, mata, mat, mati. Why is it special? Met. Because this one comes with tab ending. Okay, then the question is, what will happen when it's attached to the ta augment, like a, ta, to, t. So in the prefix affix form, we have specific ending, ta, to, t. Are you following me? Nothing, a, ta, to, t. So looking at this tab, is this tab for atatita or mut ending to? Okay, mut is ending in tab ending, so it has tab in itself. Are you following me? Mut. So the last letter is tab, and then this one should be, let me draw it, a, ta, to, t is also a part of affix pronoun. So that's why you have assimilation. It must be taf, taf, like this. So mut is mut, and then atat t, t ending is t. So we must have two taf here. Are you following me? But we don't normally double the sound. So we put these two together, and then together with assimilation, dagesh porte, doubling. That's how it works. But it's confusing because looking at this form, how are you going to easily recognize it? That is the very practical question. Can you recognize as mut together with t ending? So you need to pay attention to this, and then this tem. So all those things are taking taf as a fixed form and then as root letter. So it's doubling, taf, and then they are put together, and we see dagesh forte here. That is the significance of dealing with moot, hollow, or fixed form. Is that clear? That's it. So we can see that probably the last tab may not be seen, as if you cannot see. So moot is quite important word. So you need to be familiar with those form. Because if you have this word in the translation quiz, I think it's not easy for you to recognize it as moot, because you will see, oh, I know T ending is probably, you will simply think, oh, T ending is a fixed first comma singular, atat T. So I know T ending. And what kind of thing is this? Ma? What is this? I cannot see anything in the beginning. Why? What is this? You know, you think that way, right? If you have this one, this one, oh, and I know that the tem ending, this one must be 2 ampere of fixed form. And what is this? It's quite strange, because you must have at least 2 remaining root letters, but you have only 1. That's why it may look very confusing. But you need to be familiar with this form, because this tab is doubled. And then you have dagesh forte. Okay, so do you understand what I'm saying here? Okay, let's move on. So diagnostic of card-affix hollow moot. Met card-affix 3ms is not the lexical form of the verb. The lexical form is the infinite construct moot. Let me tell you this. When we are talking about cum, if you have cum as it is, then that's strange. And it cannot be 3MSG of fixed form. Do you remember this? Because cum will be appearing with cum in the fixed form. So when you see cum as identical as its lexical form, then it must be something special. So I told you it must be infinitive construct, okay, or imperative second masculine singular. Do you remember this in the past tense? So likewise, moot must be moot. I mean, in the imperative form. But here, this met is the form of 3MSG of fixed form. So now card of fixed 3MSG is not the lexicon form. It is the same with cum. So we cannot expect that, you know, card of fixed 3MSG cum should be cum. So what I'm trying to say is the lexical form of the hollow verb will not appear in the 3MSG of fixed form as it is. So that's why moot is met. So the lexical form is, I'm saying, the lexical form of the hollow verb is the infinitive construct or imperative form. That's what I'm saying. Okay? So 2 things that you need to remember. If you are dealing with a hollow verb, and then the root letters are appearing as identical as the lexicon form, then that cannot be 3MSG of fixed form. It should be either imperative or infinitive construct. In 2MSG, 2FS, 1CS, 2MF, and 2FA, the third root letter consonant top assimilates into the affixed pronoun. What is it? Let's go back to the previous chart again. Talking about this, here, ta, tu, ti, tem, ten. So 2MS, 2FS, 1CS, 2MPL, 2FPL, they are supposed to have tab beginning as an ending. And then at the same time, mut has tab ending. So these two tab are put together. That's what the slide is talking about. So is that clear? Okay, let me move on.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay, what is it?
Yeah, the mutu.
Mhm.
Mutu. I understand the why tabu and dageshi porte, but why the under the mem
Mhm.
affix indication is comment. Why change there?
Because as I said, mood is quite special one. Being a should categorize, category, it has its own form. That's why we are confused today. So it must follow like kum type of okay verb, but mood is quite unique. So it has its own form. But the thing is, sometimes it follows its own form, and then sometimes it follows should category too. So as I said, if you look at page 440 in your above chart, and cal I, it has met. So met for the affixed form, it is also cal 3MSG affixed form for mut. Okay, so being taking shurek and shurek in the middle, it must follow like kum, but it just wants to follow I group pattern. So it has its own pattern. So you need to be familiar with this form as well. Okay. Thank you for the question.
only mutu verb
Yes.
or
Yeah.
only mutu?
Yeah. Only mood.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
For
sir.
the question.
Uh, for the like what's that verb chart page number like 440, is there a
Mhm.
reason like cal a and cal I, is that any indicating something for those a or I, like what's
All right. Let me go back to the verb chart page 440. Okay. The reason why we have the names of car A, car A, car A, and car I is because of the affixed form. As you can see that actually this one is just to follow the patterns of the first vowel. Look at just the first vowel point. In fact, uh, it's kum, and then it's shurek, and it's bo, it's holem, and it's sim, it's a hirek yod. So as you can see that they are not supposed to be categorized under a group. If you consider the second root letters, you know what I'm saying. But the reason why they are under a group is because of the comets for the three MSG affixed form. That means, okay, kum, bo, sim, they are simply follow a category in terms of three MSG affixed form. That's why they are under AA. But in case of mut, it is following a sound. It is taking zere under the first letter. That's why a is under I category, because on the I category, we have A and E sound. So depending on what specific vowel points we have under the first root letter, it is simply kind of a conventional way of calling them. So we just say, okay, this one follow sound. That's why it is under cal A category for the hollow vowel. Is that clear? So that's why smooth is just the mood. So there are some hollow bulbs that are following A type, or there are some hollow bulbs that can even take Zere category. So, but they are most likely they're going to take A because we have more shu or and then even hirek yod. But do not simply think like, oh, you will always see comets. You will have even Zere. Okay. That's why it is under those names of category. Okay.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right. Yeah. Okay, then let's finish this. Let's look at, come on. Pronominal suffix, type 1, type 2, and we have even alternative. So we have hiranyot, and then this three, MSG, O, A, hem, hen. And also you need to be familiar with ni, hu, ha, am, and an as alternative form. This is a pronominal suffix. Okay, your assignments are, I think, posted on your Moodle. Let me just go and check. Can you see it?
It's page 169.
All right. Oh, Elabaya is here. I didn't know you're here. So, okay, what are the assignments?
It's page 169.
Okay.
Number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. But it's also on Moodle.
Okay.
Yeah, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8.
Okay, then I think I want to just spend some time with you, but I think I cannot do that here. So let's do this here together. Number 7, and then I will let you go. All right. We have one verb here. Okay, how are you going to analyze it? This one is Allah. Allah. Okay, the root letters are Allah. And what about the stem? Is it Kal or Hifil? I think I told you last
Hifil?
week.
Hifil?
Actually, in case of double weak verb, which means the first root letter is guttural and then the third root letter is he, then there is no difference between Kal stem and Hifil stem, which means you need to include two possibilities here. One more time, if you are dealing with double weak verb, then there is no difference between Kal stem and Hifil stem. Okay? Even first guttural root letter can take pata under the prefix pronoun in the Kal and then in the Hifil as well. But you will definitely have the secondary clue in the case. Because without he, you will have the third root letter, and then we are expecting hirek yod or what is it? Shortening in case of verb conversive. Are you following me? One more time. Pata under the prefix pronoun cannot be the clue only for Hifil stem, especially if you are dealing with first guttural root letter. I think I highlight this one last week when I dealt with this double weak verb. Two things that you need to remember. If you are dealing with a double weak verb, then pata under the prefix pronoun will be appearing in both. Okay, in the Kal and then in the Hifil stem. So there is no really difference. At the same time, if you are dealing with a first guttural verb, and it will come together with the pata under the prefix pronoun. But there is difference between Kal stem and Hifil stem because, as I said, you will see the secondary clue between the second root letter and third root letter in terms of the difference between Kal stem and Hifil stem. But in case of double weak verb, it doesn't work Why? Because you cannot see the third component, which is third little letter he. So there is no any difference between them. So you need to put two possibilities here in terms of the stem. Is that clear? So pata under the prefix pronoun can be, the most important indicator of he feel prefix form. But you are going to be careful when you are dealing with a verb of which the first root letter is guttural, because even pata can come together with first guttural letter. Okay, so then let's move on. So David is the subject, and then what about olot? What is this olot? Does it look familiar?
Infinitive construct.
Yes, infinitive construct without preposition. So now this is the time that we don't have preposition lamed in the beginning. So it's even possible for this infinitive construct form to come without a preposition. So now it's Allah, the third he, Allah. But the he is disappearing and they're replaced by ot ending. Do you remember infinitive construct for the third he verb? So this is the case. So this is Allah, and then car stem, and what? Infinitive construct. Okay, Lepeni Adonai. So this is in the presence of the Lord. So what is our translation? And David. This is let's put it as Hebrew stem. Okay, so Allah means go up, and in the Hebrew stem, bring up, and David brought up to bring, to go up. What is this? In the presence of the Lord. That is it. Thank you for the 4 minutes. And then please don't be confused. Just remember several things. What are the lessons that we need to remember today? Go back. First noon, Bob, you feel it's not really nothing. I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, it's not new thing. So we have pata under the prefix pronoun and assimilation. Okay. And then this one, kamets under the prefix pronoun. And then if we have 1 or 2 or 3 dots, then it is most likely the Hebrew stem. That's it. Okay. And then we'll be able to deal with other cases. So yeah, that's it. Do you have any question?
I have a question about the last sentence, about the last slide.
Okay.
You said it's infinitive construct.
Okay.
I thought it's participle because volume is. I don't think it's infinitive construct. Then oath ending.
Professor sound like looks to me like a plural of a feminine noun.
I thought it's participle.
Let me double check. Sorry. Because I think we cannot find the specific verb chart since it is double weak verb. Then we need to consider two aspects, which is the first guttural and then third he. So then I think, let me just check. Since we don't have enough time, then can I just double check by myself and come back to you? I need to let you go. And let me just come back to you. I think this is a really good point. I thought it's simply infinitive construct, but there must be something that I can explain. Okay? So thank you, Kanae, for your question. And then let's come back to this one tomorrow. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.